Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Meet the Snows, a trailer which I think is of a low budget kind of crime movie. It's a little confusing, but I think it has a lot to offer. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. What's it called, Joan? That's right. The Pineys. Here, come over here if you're going to be a pain in the neck. All right, we're going to talk about this movie, okay? All right, just sit nice. Anyhow, Meet the Snows. So it starts off with a kidnapping of this girl. Now, I think everyone in the cast is black except this person. So I only say that because it's not anything racial in the movie. I mean, it's not like a woke movie, but it's like you can see that she's the only white person in the cast and she gets kidnapped. So right away I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going to be about her and her kidnapping. Then it cuts to another girl, or a bunch of other characters, but another girl who's in college, and then she goes to a party apparently at the same nightclub, which I guess that alley was near the nightclub, and then she gets kidnapped, and there's something wrong here, but like they don't make it clear. I've only like put that together. I had to watch it twice. That the white girl came out of the club or whatever, which they should have made that clear. They should, or they shouldn't have shown her kidnapping. They should show this girl's kidnapping, the girl who seems to be connected to the Snow family. They don't quite explain who the Snows are. I think one of them's a cop. They have a lot of guns, and they have a computer system that talks, which is kind of cool. So the Snows are friends or related to the second woman who's kidnapped. So they go after the kidnappers, and I guess that it's not distinctive enough who the criminals are. They're just not the Snows. So I'm not sure who the first woman was. I guess that kind of establishes the crime, but it doesn't really, like, it's different if you show in the beginning of a trailer or a movie people on the street selling drugs, right? Because that implies usually a criminal organization. If you show somebody getting kidnapped, that doesn't necessarily imply that unless there's a few more steps, right? That she's kidnapped and I don't know, she's becomes a sex slave, let's say, somewhere, or gets sold into sex slavery somewhere, or is, I don't know, harvested for her organs, or whatever the hell they did to her. It's not established, but they're clearly looking for this woman, not the first woman who's kidnapped. So I'm not sure what's going on. And then there's this scene where one of the characters is now a cop, so I guess they're cops, or at least she's a cop. And she's one of the Snows. He's got a tactical vest, so maybe he's a cop too. They got an American flag in the background, so probably, I'm guessing he's a veteran. I mean, he's pretty built, so maybe it's like a family of like veterans and police officers and stuff who, not take revenge, but go after these criminals after they've been wronged. It's not quite clear. Now, that all being said, the production value is pretty nice. The music it's not my kind of music, but it's okay. It seems to work for the trailer. It could maybe be mixed a little down, but other than that, that's good. So that everything looks nice. It's just that the plot's not quite clear. And I think with another edit, they could probably make it clear. Maybe just like one line of dialogue of what the hell's going on. Who the criminals are and what they're up to. Like some kind of line like, we need more girls kind of thing, right? Like the criminals talking, we need more girls. What did you do with the other girl? Oh, I sent her to so-and-so, and then a shot of her like, I don't know, chained to a bed, all drugged up, That's been done in other movies. That was done in, I think it was done in Taken, right? The Russians were, or the French, maybe the Russians in France were kidnapping girls and selling them into sex slavery. And that's what Liam Neeson was trying to avoid, or for his daughter, right? So this could be very similar, but it's a little unclear. There's almost enough here. Like, I'm kind of putting it together, but it's still a little vague. Because the way it's cut, I feel like some of the characters that they're interacting with, they might be on the Snow's side. They might be other members of the Snow family or organization. But they don't come across that way. It just comes across as a jumble of partially, a little bit disjointed, I would say. Not totally. I'm kind of following it. The music helps bring it through. They've got some of the dialogue, like it's 65% there, and it needs to be at least 80% there. It needs just a little few more snippets of dialogue or something to put this over the top. And if they did that, it would be top tier. They just added that extra little bit of dialogue. I think this would be pretty top tier. This would be easily as good as any other crime drama you've seen. So for a low budget endeavor, I have to say, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I like I even like the logo at the end, because it's like a snowstorm, and then it turns into Meet the Snows. And that's not a bad title, because that's the family, Meet the Snows, and they're kicking butt and taking names. So I guess maybe it's a couple, just the couple. Again, not totally clear. Like, a VO might help. I know it's, a lot of screenwriters and a lot of movie makers stay away from the VO. If it helps the movie, if it helps clarify what the hell's going on in just the trailer, that's fine. Like, yeah, in a movie, show, don't tell. But in a trailer, you don't have much time. This is only 1:48. You got to get across what the hell's in this movie, who the players are. So, just a couple of lines of a narrator in the big city, or in Atlanta. I think this takes place in Atlanta. In Atlanta, crime is running rampant. The Snows are here to stop it. Something like that, right? When their cousin is kidnapped by sex traffickers. Get one of those guys, just to add a little bit. Just to clarify that extra 15% that this is missing. Otherwise, I think you're kind of losing people in this who aren't really paying attention. I mean, I had to watch this twice. But, beyond that, it looks good. I mean, you got these nightclub scenes. That looks like a movie, right? The cinematography is decent. It feels like a movie. This is a little cheesy, I will grant you. I kind of laughed when I saw it, but I kind of like it too. Just because it's different. So I'm not sure are there more sci-fi elements in this? I'm not sure. But for a low budget endeavor, it's good. I mean, you may want to lose it if it's going to be totally serious. If you're having fun with it, you can keep it, but you may want to drop that whole thing. Or at least the visual. I don't know if it totally works. It's very retro, but I mean, the cast looks good. The action looks decent. Everything in this looks decent. This guy, I guess, is the head criminal. I'm not sure who he is. He talks like he is. But there's not quite enough dialogue to defend. I mean, he may be an associate of the Snows who's like the rough and tumble guy that gives information. I don't know. But he talks to this guy who I think is the kidnapper in the beginning. But it's kind of hard to tell. It's probably him. I mean, they've got a similar look, but it's kind of hard to tell. See, this, for the trailer, you absolutely need that full face shot if this guy is like a main guy and we're going to see him a lot and he's going to be, like the second banana to the boss who does all the horrible kidnapping and torture, and then later in the movie he's he's going to be in the final boss fight, and I don't know. Guys like him, sometimes they turn on the boss when they realize the boss is just sacrificing them to survive or whatever. Yeah, like this whole scene, I get it. It probably starts the movie, but because the rest of the trailer is about finding the other girl, I mean, it just leaves it open. Like, well, who was the first girl then? And it's very noticeable because I think she's the only white character in the thing. See, this is the girl they're looking for. So who was the first girl? Her friend? Does she have any relation to any of the other characters? So that's why I think you need like that VO. That would clear it up. But other than that, I mean, you know, I like these gangster films. I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, here's this typical scene where he kidnaps one of the guys and tortures them. I mean, it's a little much, but, you know, it's very Hollywood, you know? So this looks like a fairly solid gangster pick. You've got guns, you've got action, your leads are looking good, you're doing all the things that happen in these movies all the time. So there's cars, there's nightclubs, I assume there's a big scene with a giant pile of money at some point. I like their decor in the background, little American flag, some more guns. So it's got all the elements. So I would say just tweak it and you're ready to go. So Meet the Snows. Let's see. It's coming to a screen near you. Produced and starring by Ron Taylor. Good for you, Ron. Doing heavy lifting here. Oh, movie premiere in July. We'll send invites soon. So this is probably a local endeavor. Vanity, Snow, and a host of other talented stars are here. So is that the actual name of... Well, Ron Taylor's name isn't Snow. So Vanity, is that the woman who's the cop? Not sure. We'll send invites soon in July. So if you know Ron and the Snows, I guess you're in. I hope you get distribution. I think it looks good. You know, maybe, like I said, just a slight little retweak. And I think you got a really decent thing. I mean, this looks just as good as most of the gangster stuff I've seen on like Netflix or whatever. Why doesn't this get picked up? I'll give it an upvote. Support independent film, everybody, especially independent gangsters. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Squirming Little Joan, who won't sit still for the video. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. Also did a live stream today if you'd like to see that. We'll see you in the next one.